Hello YouTube, I'm David with the David West channel. It is a beautiful spring morning, about 70 degrees, gorgeous. Let's go ahead and do another bow drill today. We'll look for some materials. And I want to remind you of the 8 things that we're considering as we look for those materials. How long has it been since it's rained? Here it's been 5 days. So it's starting to get dry enough to where it's a good time to find materials. What's the humidity been like since it's rained? Not that great. We've run 80 and 90% humidity since it has rained. Are you familiar with this species? Have you used that species that you just found and that you're considering before for friction fire, and is it good for friction fire? When you found it, was it up off the ground? Was it barkless? Was it exposed to the sun and the wind so that it could be drying out? Has it been dead? Has it been dead and off the tree possibly for multiple years so that it's degraded nicely? And then, is there a long enough piece on it that's got the right diameter and straight enough to make a great spindle? That's what we're going to be looking for today. So here's a possible spindle on this Virginia pine. Most of the bark is gone off of this piece. Let's see if it'll break off. Yeah, that can be a fireboard. Good. Let's keep looking. Here's a section of the woods that's just full of privet. Privet is awesome for friction fire. I don't remember which one this is. This is either the Chinese privet or privet hedge. The one with those long flowers. I'll look it up. We'll put an annotation right below here. Privet is such a good material. I'm gonna try this that I found on the ground. A little bit on the punky side. I'll bet you it'll produce. How about this white mulberry? It's got a few dead branches on it. That's a dead branch. Not all the bark is off of it though. Let's see how it breaks. Hold on. It didn't want to let go of the tree. And as you see, there's places where the bark is off of it. I think this is going to be our bow drill set. White mulberry. And that section right there is straight enough for the spindle. Here's some tulip poplar. I spotted it on the way in. And I'm just going to use that piece right there. We'll get a spindle out of that and then make a 2-piece fireboard out of it. All right, we have options. Privet, Virginia pine, tulip poplar, and white mulberry, which is a new one for me. I hope this is the one I'm going to concentrate on. This is the one I want to try to make work. But we have options. So the Virginia pine, I'm going to make a fireboard out of. I'm not going to try to make a spindle out of it. All right, I took out some of the major highs and lows. The next step is to go to square. Virginia pine, tulip poplar, and privet. All right, there's our 3 spindles. I'm worried about this very punky privet. My best spindle was this tulip poplar right here. It's very sound and it's of a good diameter. And then what we're after today, this new wood for me for bow drill, white mulberry. Let's go ahead and try our white mulberry to start with. It'll be this one and this one. Nope, this one. No problems there. Good dark dust. Does it pour off the top of the fireboard nicely? Nope. So we do have moisture in there because it's sticking to the top like that. Let me cut a notch, I'll be right back. We're gonna have issues with focus here in the shade. You don't always need a big fat spindle. That one's a 1/2 inch, if not less, in diameter. White mulberry. We got the ember, even though it popped out. I knew it was going to pop out. That's why I had such an extreme angle going back that way. And then before I stopped, I wanted to make sure that the very hot tip had more contact with the dust pile, so the tip could ignite the dust pile, and that's when it did pop out. So we'll let that coalesce. And I'm not sure what the focus is going to do to us. So, white mulberry. And as this wears down to where that flat's not there and gets more into a full round right there, it'll make better embers. So let's use some coal extender. That set's going to be better as it dries out too. It's got moisture in it. leaf right in the way. All right, that did well. You can't complain about that because although we weren't supposed to use it because it still had the bark on it, and you saw that it didn't snap away from the tree, but I had to force it to tear it off the tree. It had moisture in it, but we made it work. White mulberry, good job. Let's try. Oh, I think we'll probably have success. This should be an easy ember right here. This pine fireboard with the Tulip Poplar spindle. This should be an easy one. Let's do a burn in. See how it pours off of there. It poured off better than the white mulberry, but still there's some moisture in it and resin and sap in that fireboard. Tip looks good, just needs a little bit of touching up. All right. Let me go ahead and cut the notch. I'll be right back. All right. Tulip poplar on Virginia pine, oak catkins for coal extender, which we're taking straight off the ground, and leaves straight off the ground for a tinder bundle. And another fairly easy ember off the Tulip Poplar spindle, pine fireboard. Boy, that dust did not want to come off of there. Sometimes you can make these catkins go to flame, but these came straight off the ground. I hear sizzling from the moisture that's in them. I mostly just want to grow my ember, protect that ember. The original dust pile ember can go out now. I have a good hot ember in these catkins. Now, how should we try to make our punky privet work? Let's go ahead and let that catch the flame, burn out, and then we'll regroup and think about how we want to try to make this produce an ember. Let's just go ahead and make a real quick fireboard out of this tulip poplar. I think it'll do better on top of this tulip poplar. As you can imagine, I have my bowstring just as loose as I can get away with. The tip that's up in the bearing block is just crumbling away. Let's just go as far as we can with it. Look, okay, I thought it was too much to hope for. Let's try our white mulberry spindle on that new fireboard. That should work. Tulip poplar is the all-around, all-purpose fireboard for any kind of wood that you might want to use on it. All right, it looks like an ember. Let's see if it's going to hold up. Trying to go out on me. I still see smoke though. I still see smoke. There's too much moisture in it. Too much moisture in this. All right. Since that didn't work, let's go ahead and use tulip poplar on pine. Get another ember, we'll go out with a fire. We'll go out in a blaze of glory, how about that? That's the way to do it. All right, tulip poplar with the pine fireboard. White mulberry is set all together there. There's the failed fireboard. Let's go ahead and make this fire and go out in a blaze of glory. How about that? We got 3 bow drill friction fires out of that. Let's go ahead and build the fire up and then we'll say our goodbyes. Keep in mind those 8 considerations that you need to think of while you're choosing bow drill friction fire materials. But as you see, you can cheat on some of them. But if you cheat on too many of them, you're going to waste a whole lot of energy. The only materials that we found today that met all 8 of those criteria was the tulip poplar. And still, I didn't even, I still preferred the pine fireboard with the tulip poplar spindle, as you saw. All right, y'all. I appreciate you joining me on this one. We'll catch you on the next one.